the Zambezi Valley is pretty unique in the sense that it's a lot to do with old school hunting. It's typical dangerous fall country. You know, there's good elephant hunting, good buffalo hunting, leopard and lion, as well as your aquatics, the hippo and crocodile, and fairly good plains game as well. So it's a real challenge. It can get really hot here in the summer months, and we're actually hunting here from the 1st to the 14th of October. The temperatures that we have been ranging at the hottest time of the day, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I mean, we're up to mid 40s, and in the evening we've had it, you know, 30, 32, 33, 35 degrees. So very, very hot weather. You've got to be prepared for it, and as well as mentally, both mentally and physically. We've just come out of camp. We are literally about a kilometer from camp, and we have picked up on 2 Duggerboy tracks. It's nice and early. The sun isn't up yet. We're going to follow these bulls and let's go and have a look. Maybe there's something good there, eh?
So I just want to introduce us quickly. I'm Vaughan Vosloo. This is our PH that's going to assist us, Peter Creighton, and the guy that's shooting this morning, that's hopefully going to take the first shot, is Vaughan Vosloo. He's my son. And then we've also got Garth with us, Vaughan Vosloo. So it's basically just a big family affair.
The Zambezi Valley hunting is one of the premium hunting venues, if I could put it that way. Pretty much because it's still so wild, it's rugged. This is not easy hunting here. The game is very, very plentiful. It's good quality game here, but it's tough hunting in that the conditions are hard. It's a huge area. Physically, it's very demanding, and it's an adventure.
In the buffalo a lot. The wind, they were feeding into the wind again early in the morning. It was a big herd of buffalo. I can't be exact. They were feeding in fairly thick bush with a little bit of jess here and there. We were in amongst them, but there were a lot of young bulls and 1 or 2 bulls which I turned down, which I thought were borderline still a bit young. Turned them down, left them. Got hot and that herd of buffalo bedded down. We decided to leave them and come back to camp, and we had a lunch here in camp and we all relaxed. And late in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon to be precise, we left camp again to get back onto that herd of buffalo, get into them. we got in there and we actually leapfrogged right to the front of the herd on a side of a bit of a side of a hill, and they were coming down the bottom of it. And the very first buffalo that came in, and I'd seen him, was a brilliant old Duggar boy. Shoot him again, quickly. Shoot him again, shoot him again.
Solid.
Tongora. Tongora.
Yes.
You get it.
Tongora.
Songora. Where? Come here.
Can I help you?
Watson, come. Mind Come here. Thank you.
Lekker,
Thank you.
Was that lekker?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Awesome stalk, eh?
Yeah.
Worked out perfectly from there.
Yeah,
Pulled him, stopped in the open, whack him in the center of the shoulder, eh?
Yes, you guys
you,
were tiring.
you were
eh?
stuck.
No, looks like he just let drive it.
I said to him.
I just saw black. Bow, bow.
We were up against the side of the hill, and he came in. I called him, I bellowed at him, he stopped and looked at us, and Jacques put in an absolutely perfect shot with his 375 H&H. Once again using brilliant ammunition. He was using Vaughan TSX. Shot it in the shoulder, it turned, and yeah, he had a lot of fun there. You know, his dad had told him that once you shoot it, keep on shooting it, and that's exactly what he did. He took the instruction well, and a lot of excitement there, and he shot that buffalo a few more times perfectly. It turned and actually ran back on the same. Well, I say ran, it was running and stumbling, but you know, he put in another 3 or 4 shots there, another 4 shots actually, and it went all of about 35 yards and expired. You know, it was another classic hunt, and that's exactly what you want. You don't want these animals to suffer or wound them, and you want to harvest them as quickly as possible, you know, and I think that's only fair to the animal. In this day and age, it's not just about hunting and harvesting and killing animals. It's a lot more there's a lot more to it, and especially for me, and that's the conservation of wildlife, and not only in Zimbabwe but in Africa. There's huge pressure on wildlife in Africa, in the sense that the safari areas and the wild areas, the game areas, are getting smaller and smaller, and one of the biggest reasons is to population explosion. The African population literally is exploding. It's the need for land, for agriculture, for grazing cattle and everything is just the land is running out, and those areas are getting smaller and smaller. So a major part about being a professional hunter is the conservation of wildlife, and I rather use the term conservation hunting than professional hunting, because that's what it all boils down to. It's a conservation of our, not just wildlife, but both fauna and flora. Foreign hunters' dollars goes straight back into those areas to protect that wildlife. It's anti-poaching, water projects, you know, building dams, and then in those areas we build clinics, build schools and things like that for the locals. So the biggest part of the American dollar, or any hunter really from overseas, comes and goes back into those safari areas, and the whole thing is to protect and preserve our fauna and flora, but especially the wildlife.
Okay, so it's about 5:30 early this morning. We've come to the waterhole here. We've found about 8 good dagger boy tracks. The buffalo have given us a bit of a run around, but this morning let's hope a little bit of luck is with us and we'll shoot some.
Watching again? Again? At all? Yeah. Wait, don't run.
Wait,
Do not
don't
run.
run. Oh, you can die, bro.
Stand on both sides, okay?
Yeah,
Did you see? You couldn't see a settlement,
correct.
and then you could just see a shoulder. From there, you couldn't see. From here, you could see.
Correct.
So we shot him. Did you shoot further back?
No, shot straight in the center of the shoulder.
Sure.
Sure.
You squeeze it off nicely.
Yeah,
How do you feel, bro?
feel fine.
Yeah.
Did he take it?
What did it look like?
That's okay. Good. That's good. That's a good song. That's what we want to hear. That death bella. Right.
Yes.
Give me your hand. Well done. Hey? You see now, hunting buffalo, my boy.
Yeah.
Oh, lot talks, huh? Lot is the way forward. That Vaughan's actually not good. Let's leave him for a little bit. Well done, my friend. Hey? Check it, that smile. Look at the camera and tell you that camera.
Thank you so much.
Well done, my friend. Well done,
Thank you so much.
Well, good shooting. Took your time, squeeze, like I told you, everything. Like that. That is what you call the death bella. When you hear that,
Hij heeft hem goed geschiet, hè?
boy, beautiful.
Ja, beautiful.
Listen to that.
Nice and early in the morning. Caught them. You see, guys, we caught them whilst they're still feeding, eh?
Yeah, so.
What a beautiful bull.
Yes, okay.
Well done. Eh? Well done, Wookie.
Let's see where you shot him.
Is that
There's
correct?
the barns where you shot him perfectly. You shot him from the other side, there's a bullet sitting there. Let's get. We had been following them for approximately an hour, 10 minutes when we picked up, when we eventually caught up with the Duggar boys. They were feeding away from us, feeding into the wind. He eventually lost interest in us and turned broadside and started walking and gave us a perfect shot opportunity through a small window. And that's exactly where he stopped. He shot that buffalo perfectly in the shoulder and literally went 30 yards and expired. Gave a few death bellows and that was it. It was textbook stuff. We got up one morning and it was Bertha's day to hunt his Cape buffalo. It was, as you know, it was a deal where we were hunting 3 Cape buffalo or 3 Duggar boys with this family, and we went downriver on what they call the river road. There was nothing interesting at all for us. We decided to turn around and actually head into an area we haven't been at all during this 14-day safari, and we drove right into almost the middle of the area. There's a few pans there, natural pans that still hold water. We bumped into, I can't be exact, but close on 20 Duggar boys lying in the open pan. They just watered and they'd been rolling in the mud and what have you, and they're all lying out there. Anyway, they heard the vehicle come, so they weren't too spooked, but they left the pan and a bit of a trot and what have you. We went in a smaller group, myself and Bertha and my tracker and the game scout and the cameraman. We followed this herd.
We caught them after about, I think it was about an hour and a half, but fast tracking, very fast tracking. As the buffalo started feeding again, it was quite late in the morning, it was about 11 o'clock, way past the usual time for them to still be feeding. But I think when we bumped them in out of the water hole, they were busy wallowing, and they hadn't bedded down obviously yet. When we flushed them, they kept on the move.
Reload with bar. Hang on, don't run there. Just wait.
So put one into the spine. No, but he did blink, buddy. Yeah, he definitely blinked. Into the chest, eh?
Yes, you shot a beautiful buffalo. Mushi dug away. What a white buffalo. What a beauty. Maar voor goed doen, brother. Well done, eh? Goed, hè? Lekker. Hey, lekker hand, hè?
Beautiful. Find a bus. Thanks, Shaman.
What a pleasure, eh?
Absolutely.
What a hunt. And what a beautiful dugger boy.
Nice one.
Eh? Check it out. Good plan, take the shoes off, eh? Put them upon.
Nice and quiet.
This is the conclusion of 9 days of very hard buffalo hunting on Dugger Boys. It's just been an absolute pleasure hunting with these guys. They're a great family, amazing Zimbabweans to hunt with. I feel quite privileged hunting with you guys, and I appreciate you putting your trust in me to guide you. It's all worked out well. I mean, if we put the evens in there, it's every 3 days we've shot a Dugger Boy. So yeah, it's been good hunting. It's been very, very hot. We've worked very hard. The two younger boys took their buffaloes in the last few days, and then Berta today took this beautiful Dugger Boy. Today's day 9. We actually came into a pan this morning, and there were approximately 16 to 20 Dugger Boys in there, lying in the open. And anyway, we followed them up, and Berta made a perfect shoulder shot. Using the good old famous Barnes TSX from his 375 H&H, and this buffalo probably went 30 yards and expired.
Thank you very much, Peter. And
Thank you very much. And I just want to say thank you very much to you guys, and many thanks to my tracker who's been with me for quite a number of years now, Tsongora. He plays an integral part in every single safari we conduct.
Put in the hard yards, we try and put in the work. I am starting to get a little bit older, but I just push myself a little bit harder, and I think the hunts went very well. But we don't expect an easy hunt with cool temperatures when you come down to the Zambezi Valley. Not in October anyway. You're expecting temperatures in excess of 40 degrees, and yeah, that's exactly what it was. So we just put up with it. It's been a magnificent experience, and I was just very fortunate and very happy that we were able to do it this year.
It's a privilege hunting in the Zambezi Valley. In the background here, we've got the Zambezi River. You know, it's a mighty Zambezi River, and it's very well known. It's been here forever. There's a lot that goes into it. You know, so there we go.